Welcome to LDA Minnesota's information session on our Institute for Special Educators, a teacher preparation program for special educators. A little background. LDA Minnesota is a nonprofit organization founded in 1967 by a group of tutors who are tutoring kids with dyslexia and learning disabilities. LDA serves individuals across the lifespan and across the state of Minnesota. We have services for early childhood, tutoring for elementary and secondary students. We have support groups for adults. We diagnose for learning disabilities and ADHD, and we've trained professionals over many, many years. In 2011, the Minnesota legislature passed a law that allowed alternative programs partnered with institutions of higher education to start. School districts and nonprofits could start a program. And then in 2017, they updated that legislation to allow nonprofits and school districts to have a program without a partnership with institutions of higher education. And so at that time, LDA Minnesota started a program, and we were approved by the Professional Educator Licensing and Standards Board as a state-approved teacher preparation program. So what makes LDA's Institute of Special Educators a little different? You'll see that cost is much lower than other institutions of higher education offering teacher licensing. We also have a program philosophy that's very rooted in the work of LDA Minnesota. We've worked with families over 50 years. And so our program is built on our experience working with families and schools and communities. It's purposeful, pragmatic, and passionate. We really want to equip teachers with the skills, strategy, and knowledge to be successful in the classroom and to manage the job of a special educator. We also want teachers to catch our passion. Its research indicates that passionate teachers see better student results. And we know special education is not easy. And we want passionate teachers in the classroom who will stick with the job and enjoy it over the long run. The program was designed for teacher candidates who are already working in schools or who want to be working in schools. And so we've built in mentoring into the program. Our hope is that our candidates are working in some role in a school, and their mentor through LDA will help and support them to understand and be an ear for them and to provide insight and resources as needed. LDA Minnesota is committed to racial equity and anti-racism, and you'll see this throughout the program when you're in the program, as well as in the organization. So we have some fee structures related to racial equity. We do have scholarships set aside for Black, Indigenous, and persons of color looking to go into the teaching profession. We've built in the intercultural development inventory and into the program and into the organization so that we can all be more interculturally competent. And in our strategic plan, we have several goals and strategies related to racial equity and anti-racism within the organization and within the community. This program is small, intimate, and flexible. We currently have a goal of 20 teacher candidates for every cohort coming in the fall. And so we really feel that that small group size helps teacher candidates, get the support and build relationships that they need to be successful. But then we also can have some flexibility in the way that we do things and how we do them. LDA has an extensive curriculum resource library here at the organization with all of our programs in place. We've purchased curriculum materials, assessment protocols, and things like that over the years that our teacher candidates have access to. And last but not least, it's an engaging hybrid learning environment. Our teacher candidates meet online or in person in synchronous classes twice a week. And you'll learn more about that in a little bit. But we really try and make this an engaging environment where that's meeting our teacher candidate needs as they go through the program and are working as well. So we do have a video on YouTube about our mentorship program. The mentorship piece really makes this a strong program, and all of our teacher candidates have said that their mentors have helped them in many ways, both professionally and within their learning here at LDA. And so I encourage you later to go to YouTube and watch this video and learn more about the mentoring. So why did we choose the ABS license for our licensure area here at LDA? We did our research and found that many school districts have open positions for this license. They're very interested in it. They can, somebody with this license can be used in many ways in a school. Also, somebody with this license can choose many paths to teaching. And so that also is something that teachers want as well. We felt like we had expertise in this license area. Our expertise historically has been learning disabilities and ADHD, which fits under the other health disorders category in special education. But we also had staff with licenses and expertise in autism, developmental cognitive disability, and emotional behavior disorder. So it really felt like a fit for our organization and for the needs in schools and the community. So a little bit more about the program. The program is 21 months long. So you're with us for 2 academic years and a summer in between. So it kind of adds up to 5 semesters. There's a total of 19 courses, but 3 of these are practicums, which are just hours that you have exposure to classrooms, and student teaching, which is 14 weeks of full-time student teaching, a state requirement for our license area. The courses take place on Tuesday and Wednesday evening, typically, either online or in person, and they're 4:45 to 7:30 is usually the time period. Courses also take place one Saturday a month. These are called our clinical seminars, and they last a few hours on that Saturday morning. Again, this is hybrid. You may meet online most weeks and then in person once in a while. There really is kind of a flexibility of how this takes place. We do offer a 3-year pathway. If you feel like you need to take the course scope and sequence a little slower than we're offering it, you can do that. And then if you already have a teaching license, we do have course waivers. We can waive several courses, and I'll highlight those as we go through the scope and sequence. So here's our scope and sequence. You can find this on our website as well. We again have 2 academic years, so those are in color, pink and blue, and then the summer session in between, where you'll gain some important skills for your second academic year with us. Classes start in September, but before September, we do have our Intro to Ed Psych, or Educational Psychology. That happens in August, and if you don't catch it the first year before September classes start, you can catch it the second year. In semester 1, though, you really have some foundational classes. Our Intro to Special Education class really gives background and history of special education, which is important for you to understand that background and history as you move into the program. Our strategies course is that toolbox that you're going to have and you're going to build upon. And we start in semester 1 with a specific course on equipping you with skills and strategies, but you're going to add to that toolbox as you go through all of the courses. We have a clinical seminar 1, which meets 4 times, 4 different Saturdays, and then your general ed practicum. And if you've worked in a school in a general ed setting, we typically can waive this course. You've had enough hours and experience to understand what general education looks like. In semester 2, we have our assessment course. Special educators have a role in the assessment process for special education, and we want to make sure that you clearly understand the role and the assessments and tools that you need to use in that role. We also have a reading and writing strategies. You'll be a reading teacher when you're a special educator, and so we want to be sure that you're equipped for that. Clinical seminar number 2 meets 5 times in semester 2. And then elementary practicum number 2 is a practicum in an elementary setting. Again, if you work in an elementary setting, we can waive that. If you work in a secondary setting and need to find an elementary school, we can help with that as well. Our summer sessions are 4 courses. They meet over 6 weeks. The first 3 weeks are 2 courses, a morning and an afternoon. The second kind of session is 3 weeks, again, a morning and afternoon course. So we have 4 courses: classroom behavior management, understanding functions of behavior, collaborating culture and co-teaching, and then writing individual education plans. Each of these has kind of a unique piece to it, each of these courses. I'd like to highlight co-teaching. That's such an important course because many special educators for mild to moderate disability areas are co-teachers in classrooms. So really figuring out how you collaborate, how culture is part of the setup of classrooms, and then how you fit in as a co-teacher, and that partnership is so important. Writing individual education plans, this one stands out because not a lot of other teacher prep programs have this course. IEPs are such a big part of the job, and we want to make sure that they feel natural to you, that you know what needs to be included, and that, again, they can be time intensive. And so the better you know what an IEP looks like, what it should have in it, I think the easier that it becomes writing them and making it a daily task. In semester 3, you have our transition from school to work and community living. The ABS license goes through age 21. And so we want to be sure that you understand that school to work time period. Our math strategies course is a great course, again, helping to build your confidence about math because you will be a math teacher in this license. Clinical Seminar 3 meets 4 times, and then a secondary education practicum, which again, either can be waived or we can help you find a setting. Your last semester with us, you are working in a school full-time and doing your 14 weeks of full-time student teaching. We also have a course attached to that time. There's certain assignments we want to see to make sure we know that you're prepared to do this job. And then there's some assessments connected with student teaching as well. So those build into that course. The other course is the EdTPA. This is a performance assessment that the state requires. And so again, we want to be sure that you're prepared to take this assessment. So this course is kind of a practice time. You practice with us and start to understand what is going to be required of you to take this assessment. And then at the end of the course, without our assistance, you go and take the assessment. But by the time you get there, you're going to feel really confident about taking it. So applying for the program, this can be found on our website under how to apply. You need a bachelor's degree. Anyone interested in an alternative pathway to teacher education needs to have a bachelor's degree. It can be in any topic area, but it just needs to be a BA. And then you'll need to send your official transcript to LDA Minnesota, or have your institution send it, I should say. We also need passing scores on the Minnesota NES Essential Academic Skills exams. And so those are in reading, writing, and math. Those are those basic skill tests called the MTLEs, not the pedagogy and content tests, the math, reading, and writing. And those scores, you can have the MTLEs send directly to us. We don't need them at time of application. We just need to have you pass them within the first semester. So if you're late to applying, no worries. You'll still have until December of your first year to get those done. We need to know that you've worked with kids. So 20 hours of working with children is a requirement. And if you've been in a classroom, been, a paraeducator or an educational assistant, you have that, and that'll be easy to fulfill. Our application form is on our website, and we do require you to write a brief personal statement. We're looking for about 500 words. We want to understand why you want to be a special educator. What drives you to this profession? Why are you interested in it? And, why you're interested in our program as well. If you have a lower GPA during your bachelor's degree, we kind of want to understand what happened and, why you think you'll be able to perform in our program. We are an alternative route, but it's a rigorous program, and we want to be sure that you'll be successful. We also need your resume and 2 letters of recommendation. Once you send in your resume and your application form to us, we'll schedule an interview with you. And that interview is with our program manager, a small panel of our staff. We really want to get to know all of our teacher candidates, why they want to be with us, and their passion for education. The recommendations, though, we do have a form on our website. If you have some folks that you work with who can fill those out, just send the link to them. A supervisor we're looking for, a colleague, somebody who has seen you in action in a school would be wonderful. If you don't have experience in a school, again, somebody you've worked with and a supervisor is really what we're looking for. And then again, the official transcript from where you've earned your bachelor's degree. So when to apply, and this is for fall 2023, but really any year, if you find this in the future, we pretty much follow these deadlines. We don't typically have an application fee until later spring. So this year in 2023, by April 30th, our application fee is waived. If you apply after that, it starts just ramping up $25 and then $75. Applicants must confirm their intent to enroll by August 21st. So we're looking for applications to be submitted by mid-August so that we can get to that deadline of August 21st, where we are looking for that confirmation that you're going to enroll in the program. On August 23rd is our new candidate orientation, and then September 5th of 2023 classes start. We do have applications available on a rolling basis. So you can apply at any time and you'll hear back from us once your file is complete and you've had your interview within about a week's time. Our admissions committee reviews applications as they come. So in terms of cost, the program costs about $17,000, which is typically half the cost of many other special education licensure programs. It's $375 a unit, and most courses, like the reading strategies, the math strategies course, are 3 to 4 units a course. So there's 46 units total in our program. For the first academic year, we estimate if you take the full course load, your tuition is $7,875. The summer courses are about $4,800. And then the second academic year with us, because student teaching and EdTPA courses meet just a few times, those courses are less in units. And so your tuition is a little less at $4,500. All of your textbooks are included in this cost. So that $17,000 includes everything. The only additional program fee that we charge you, and it's in your last year's invoice or your last semester, is the EdTPA. Right now, the EdTPA is priced at $300, and we just pass that cost on to you and set you up in that program. We do have scholarships and discounts. So I mentioned earlier, we have some scholarships or a discounted rate for those who identify as Black, Indigenous, or persons of color. We're very committed to increasing the diversity of teachers in the workforce in Minnesota. And so we've fundraised and set aside money for that. We also have scholarships available based on income. And so you can fill out some forms and send those in to us, and we'll get that and see what we can afford and how can you afford the program as well. So if you have questions, please let us know. Here is the link to our website, LDA Minnesota /licensure, and you can learn more about all of the programs. Our email is info@ldaminnesota.org. We really want to hear from you and answer your questions, and we hope you apply for fall 2023. Thanks so much.